everyone, I'm Sara with Girls Inc. And today we'll be learning how to make the candy striped friendship bracelet. For this activity, you will need 2 different colors of friendship string, some tape, a safety pin, and or a paper clip. Let's get started. While holding one end of your string, stretch it out so that it is the length of your arm from fingertip to armpit. You will then cut the string at this length. Do this twice more with the same color for a total of 3 pieces of string. Once you have your 3 pieces of string in your first color, you will then cut 3 more pieces in your second color. Make sure you do the same length, fingertip to armpit. Here we have all 6 pieces of string laid out. We have 3 green and 3 yellow. We are now going to take all 6 pieces together and tie a knot. To tie a knot, we're going to simply loop the string around 2 of our fingers, tuck it under our loop, and pull. Here we have our knot. When tying your knot, make sure to leave some extra string above the knot. We're going to use this space right here to make sure that our tape is holding our bracelet down on our table. So laying your bracelet down in front of you, straight in front of you, grab some tape and place it above the knot. Make sure to use some good strong tape to make sure that your bracelet stays where it needs to stay. All right. Next, we're going to separate our bracelet by colors. We're going to have all 3 colors of one on one side and the other on this side. So I'm going to start with my green string, laying them all out so that all of my green are on one side. Once you have all 6 pieces separated, it's going to kind of look like an octopus. You want to make sure that it's nice and clear what you have going on up here and that they're all coming straight down. There's no knots. Starting with the string furthest to your left, make a 4 over the strings next to it. So here we have 4. We're now going to take our first string and loop it under our second. And then we're simply pull our knot to the very top. Keeping hold of that first string, you're going to do the same thing again. Make the 4, loop it under your second string. I like to hold the second string down as I tighten my knot to the top. Once you've made 2 knots on your second string, you can move that one over, and we're going to start working on our third string. So using your first string, make a 4, loop under, and tighten your knot. We will be making 2 knots on each of our strings. So again, still working on this one, make a 4, loop under, and tighten. So I've made 2 knots on this string, 2 knots on this one, and now we're going to move on to our first yellow. So still working with that very first string, we're making a 4, looping under, and pulling our knot to the top. Making a 4, looping under, and pulling the knot to the top. We're on a final string, make the 4, loop under, and pull up. Make the 4, loop under, and pull up. Once you've finished completing all knots, so 2 on each of your strings, you're going to make it the last string. We have just finished our first row. We will now be doing the same thing over again, making our second string our first, and we'll be working our way across. It's really important that you make sure your strings stay in the order that you started in, otherwise your pattern's not going to look correct. So, taking my first string, looping under, and pulling up. That's my first knot. 4, loop under, pull up my second knot. We will be doing 2 knots on each of our strings. 4, looping under, and pull up. 4, looping under, pull up. Our second, 4, loop under, pull up. 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 We've made 2 rows now. Continue this as you move through each string. For our next row, I'm going to zoom in further so you can really see what I'm doing here. As you continue working on your bracelet, I would invite you to start thinking about who you may want to give your friendship bracelet to. If you're having a hard time thinking of someone, I'm going to share with you what I think makes a good friend. I'm going to continue to work on my bracelet as I do this though. To me, a good friend is someone that is always there for you, making sure you feel supported when you're sad or struggling with school or family. Lately, with all the school closures and not being able to hang out with my friends, for me, that means a lot of talking to me on the phone, text messages, or sending me messages via Instagram or TikTok. I want you to think of someone who celebrates you, someone who is excited as you are when you get a good grade or when your crush finally notices you. Someone who celebrates the successes and doesn't make it all about them. I think a good friend is someone who's willing to forgive you if you make a mistake, and is somebody who's going to be honest with you. Most importantly, though, I think a good friend is someone who will accept you for who you are and doesn't make you change, whether that's your clothing, or what kind of music you listen to, or even who you hang out with. Now, if you don't want to make this bracelet for somebody and you want to keep it for yourself, that's great too. But hopefully you'll learn how to make more than just this kind of bracelet, and you'll be making them all summer for your friends. So I just did my first row of yellow. Now I'm going to keep working on over here. Summer's my favorite time to hang out with my friends. I like to usually go to the pool with them. If I can get outside and do some sort of sporting activity, that's even better. I do like soccer. But if not, then just going to the movies or playing games online. That's a really fun one for me too. I'd love to hear what you guys do with your friends. I know it's been weird now that we're all just at home all the time, but it's still important to make sure that you're keeping in contact with them and you're checking in on them to make sure that they're doing well. Yeah, you can do that over Zoom or during your text messages. All right, my last string. So I've been doing this for a while now, so I'm a little bit faster than you might be. Just take your time and just focus on what you're doing, okay? So as I continue working, I notice that I pull my string a little bit and my tape starts to loosen up. Go ahead and add more tape. Also, once you get a little bit further, what I like to do is I like to take a paper clip or a safety pin, and I simply take my paper clip. I open it up to make this prong a little bit easier to work with. I slide the prong through my knot, so that way it's now on the paper clip. So now I have my bracelet attached to my paper clip. And once it's attached like that, you're able to take this and hook it onto other things. So I like to hook it onto my shoelaces, and that way when I pull on it, I'm just pulling it, it's just coming, doesn't pull too far. Once you continue to add your layers in each of your knots and rows, you'll start to see the candy stripe pattern. Once you get it to your desired length, which is going to be long enough to wrap around your friend's wrist, you're going to tie the end of it off in a knot. So here's one I've been working on earlier. I started with my knot up here and then I worked down. So once I have my end ready, I'm simply going to just take that end